Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Gopi Janagana Ivaradari Gopi Janagana Yashodanandana Raja Jananandana Yashodanandana Raja Jananandana Yamuna Chira Vanachari Yamuna Chira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Gopi Janagana Ivaradari Jaya Gopi Janagana Yashodanandana Raja Jananandana Yashodanandana Raja Jananandana Yamuna Chira Vanachari Yamuna Chira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jira Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki, Namtaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we read Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 24, Matsya, the Lord's fish incarnation, and verse 38. So 39? Okay.
That's what is right on the board.
Okay.
Maybe there's no purport to it.
Yeah, this is. There's many verses without purpose. So I'll read in English. Je lis en anglais. So it is benediction of the Senior Vaishnava and your benediction. Thanks for reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Itam Hadicharajanam
Itam
Haricharajanam.
Itam Haricharajanam
Itam Haricharajanam.
Harirantaradhiyatam
Harirantaradhiyatam.
Harirantaradhiyatam
Harirantaradhiyatam.
Sonavaikashatatam karam Sonavaikshatatam karam Yam Rishekeshadichat Yam Rishekeshadichat Itam Hadicharajanam Harirantaradhiyata Sonavaikshatatam karam Yam Rishekeshadichat Itam Hadicharajanam Harirantaradhiyata Sonavaikshatatam karam Yam Rishekeshadichat
Itam Adisharajanam Harirantaradhiyata
Harirantharadiyata.
Sona vaikshatatam kalam.
Sodva vaikshatatam kalam.
Yam rishikesha adishat.
Yam rishikesha adishat.
Itam yadisya rajanam.
Itam adisya rajanam.
Harirantaradhiyata.
Harirantharadiyata.
Sona vaikshatatam kalam.
Sona vaikshatatam kalam.
Yam rishikesha adishat.
Yam rishikesha adishat.
Itamadishya rajanam.
Idamisharajanam.
Alirantaradiyata.
Alirantaradiyata.
Vaikshatatam kalam.
Sona vaikshatatam kalam.
Shikashadisha.
Yam
Nishikashadita.
Itamadishya rajanam.
Idamadicharadanam.
Alirantaradiyata.
Alirantaradiyata. Nishikashadita. Mataji. Idamadicharajanam. Alirantaradiyata. Sona vaikshatatam kalam. Yamishikashadita. Itamadicharajanam. Alirantaradiyata. Sona vaikshatatam kalam. Yamishikashadita. Okay, translation word for word. Itam,
Itam.
as aforementioned,
Aforementioned.
Aditya,
Aditya.
instructing,
Instructing.
Rajanam,
Rajanam.
the king Satyavrata,
The king Satyavrata.
Hari,
Hari.
the supreme personality of Godhead,
The supreme personality of Godhead.
Antaradiyata,
Antaradiyata.
disappear from that place.
Disappear from that place.
Sa,
So.
I, the king.
The king.
Anva Vaikshata
Anvaikshata.
began to wait for
Began
Began
to
to
wait
wait
for.
for.
Tam Kalam,
Tam kalam.
that time.
That time.
Yam,
Yam.
which
Which
Rishikesha,
Rishikesha.
Lord Rishikesha,
Lord Rishikesha.
the master of all the senses,
The master of all senses.
Adichat,
Adichat.
instructed.
Instructed.
So translation and no purport for now. Translation from Srila Prabhupada. After thus instructing the king, the supreme personality of Godhead immediately disappeared. Then King Satyavrata began to wait for that time of which the Lord had instructed. So just we have to rememorize what happened before. So
Just
King,
say something, because several devotees said that Satyavati was Satyavati Muni. This is not true.
okay,
Here it says king.
yeah,
He said Muni. Madhavendra Puri said Muni, but he's a king.
okay.
Because the previous devotees who gave class, they all said he was a Muni. It's not
So-
true.
He's a Kshatriya,
Yeah,
he's a king. Okay,
just a little thing.
thank you. Yeah, he was a king, yeah. Satyavrata was a king.
We cannot be a Muni and a king.
Rajarshi.
There's such a thing as Rajarshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a king of the whole world.
Mhm.
So he's a rishi.
Okay.
No Muni.
Gandhi.
So what happened is that before the Lord appeared to Satyavrata in the form of a fish in his hand, and he wanted to protect him. I mean, at the beginning he wanted to put him in the river, and the fish complained to Satyavrata. He said, "Why you put me in a situation like this? I will be eaten by bigger fish." And so he took back and he put him in a jug, in a container. But the fish became so big that the jug was too small. So after he took and he put in a big lake, and the lake became too small also for the fish. So he put in the sea, and the sea was too small. So after he put in the ocean, and after some time the ocean was too small also. So after that the fish disappeared. He gave him some instruction. He said him that he will come to save him. He will send first a boat, and he will come to save him at the time of devastation, because it was the time of devastation and the water come up, and he jumped in this boat, and after the fish came to save the boat from the devastation. It's just this story, it looks like the story with Damodar when Mother Yashoda want to attach Damodar, and the rope is always too small. In the same manner here, King Satyavrata wanted to put the fish in a bigger place, and the place was always too small. And he put in bigger, and the place was even too small, like with Damodar. When
Well, the fish was getting bigger.
yes, the fish was bigger.
Damodar Krishna wasn't getting bigger.
Yeah, it's true. But it's mystical. I mean, it's a mystical arrangement of the Lord that only by devotion you can get him. In the same way, when Maya Yashoda starts to sweating, Damodar accepts to be attached by Mother Yashoda. So I will read the other verse until there is a purport. I read only the translation. Okay. After spreading Kusha with its tips pointing east, the saintly king, himself facing the northeast, sat down on the glass and began to meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who had assumed the form of a fish. So this is what the fish gave instruction to Satyavrata to do. Thereafter, gigantic cloud pouring incessant water swelled the ocean more and more. Thus, the ocean began to overflow onto the land and inundate the entire world. As Satyavrata remembered the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he saw a boat coming near him. Thus he collected herb and creeper, and accompanied by saintly Brahmana, he got aboard the boat. The saintly Brahmana, being pleased with the king, said to him, "O king, please meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead Keshava. He will save us from this impending danger and arrange for our well-being." Then, while the king constantly meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a large golden fish appeared in the ocean of inundation. The fish had one horn and was 8 million miles long. Quite big.
I'll say.
Following the instruction formally given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the king unshorn the board to the fish's horn, using the serpent Vasuki as a rope. Vasuki is all. Thus, being satisfied, he began offering prayer to the Lord. So now we start the prayer. The king said, "By the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who because of this ignorance are involved in a material conditional life full of misery, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master." So purport, by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the Supreme Spiritual Master. The Supreme Lord knows everything about the suffering of the conditioned soul, and therefore he appears in this material world, sometimes personally, sometimes by an incarnation, and sometimes by authorizing a living being to act on his behalf. In all cases, however, he is the original spiritual master who enlighten the conditioned soul who are suffering in the material world. The Lord is always busy helping the conditioned soul in many ways. Therefore, he is addressed here as Parama Guru Bhavan, the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who act to spread Krishna consciousness, is also guided by the Supreme Lord to act properly in executing the Lord's order. Such a person may appear to be an ordinary human being, but because he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Spiritual Master is not to be neglected as ordinary. It is therefore said, Acharyam mam vijaniyat. An Acharya who acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be understood to be as good as the Supreme Lord himself. So every morning we chant Sakshat Daritvena Samasta Shastre Uktas Tata Bhavyata Eva Shadvi Kintu Prabhoya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanarabindam. So in this verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has advised that the spiritual master acting on the Supreme Lord's behalf must be worshipped as being as good as the Supreme Lord, for he is the Lord's most confidential servant in broadcasting the Lord's message for the benefit of the conditioned soul involved in the material world. I read again the verse. The king said, "By the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who because of this ignorance are involved in material conditional life, full of misery, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master." Agyanachimnandasya Gyanandara Sharakaya Chakshunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapanantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamaram Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Saglajatam Sagana Ragunatam Tam Sam Jivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvyacha Kripa Sinubhya Evacha Patitanam Paranebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashkatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much to give me this opportunity to speak some word on Srimad Bhagavatam. So, first on this verse we can see that Satyavrata, the king Satyavrata, is not speaking for himself because he had the darshan directly of the Lord, but he said to us that for all the living entities who are fallen in this material world, our only chance is to get the association of the Lord devotee. So for him it's not the case, but he said for all the future reader of Srimad Bhagavatam. We not think that one day we will wake up with a fish in the hand and will be the Lord. We have to pass through the spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada in all the purport is insisting on this fact that we cannot know the Lord without the mercy of his representative, the spiritual master. And this is the main topic of the purport, and the conclusion is that we should even worship the spiritual master as the Lord, because he is a representative and he is speaking the word that the Lord wants to say to us. So through the spiritual master we can know what the Lord wants for us. So this is what is most important in this verse and topic. After Prabhupada makes some points, at the beginning he insists on the fact that we should never consider that a spiritual master should never consider himself the Lord. This is, at the beginning he says this. He's always under the shelter of the Supreme Lord and is giving instruction because he's taking shelter into the Supreme Lord. And this is also something that that Lord Chaitanya is pointing in his teaching when he is instructing Srila Rupa Goswami. He explained that all the living entities, there is many living entities, I would say, who are turning in this material world. Brahmanda, Brahmite, Kona, Bhagavan, Jiva, or million and million of Jiva, living entities who are turning in this material world and suffering in this material world. And this is also something that Srila Prabhupada insisting in his purport that in this material world we are all in a suffering condition. And after turning and trying to find solution, after many life of trying to find solution, what happened? We come in contact with authentic spiritual master, who is repeating word for word the word of the Lord. Is not changing what the Lord is saying. And this is the second part of the verse that Lord Chaitanya said to Rupa Goswami. He said, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. When there is someone who is sincere in his research of the absolute truth, Krishna is sending the spiritual master. And by the spiritual master, the living entity can know who is the Lord. So this is what is emphasizing in this purport, that we are all lost in this material world, trying to find solution for our suffering through many things. But the only solution is when with sincerity we pray to the Lord, and the Lord is sending his representative. And when we take shelter in his representative, this authentic spiritual master, so we can know who is the Lord, and the Lord can give us instruction through the spiritual master. It's interesting also to see how the Brahmana are praying to King Satyavrata. I just want to read one verse before.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's better without.
Maybe. It's not fixed.
Okay, let's see. It's literally strange. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So before the Brahmana are praying to King Satyavrata, they say, O King, please meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Keshava. He will save us from this impending danger and arrange for our well-being. So this is not a pure prayer. It's mixed with some interest of being saved from the situation. We can see in the prayer of King Satyavrata, it's pure devotional service, but here the prayer from the Brahmana are contaminated by some desire of be saved from the situation. So when we can have a prayer without motive, without desire, material desire, and we address to the Lord with this pure devotional attitude, so the Lord will send us his representative. But in the case of the Brahmana, they are addressing with some motives to be saved from the situation. So the thing I wanted to speak about this is actually our duty to go to give mercy to the living entity in the street, because so I just come back from this marathon, so I have a little bit the mood of distributing the books, so I will try to share a little bit about this. We can see when we go in the street, here it looks like everything is beautiful, there is no much pain, but when we are in Paris, in Châtelet-Les Halles in Paris, we can see how much people are suffering. it's really, the world is really in bad condition, and people are looking actually for some help for being saved from this, like the devastation in this situation. It's a little bit same. We are in a case of a devastation from all the sinful activity who are very important now in our society, and people are looking for some solution. And in the same way that the Lord come in the form of Matsya, in this fish, to save the king Satyavrata, we have this responsibility also to try to go to give what we receive from Srila Prabhupada and from the Acharya. And this is the best way actually to understand the Lord, because the Lord, he said that he's come to this world to save Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinachaya Shadushkritam, to save the pious person and to kill the demon. So in the same way, if we want to understand the mood of the Lord, it's very important to go in the street and try to give this knowledge. And we are like, we take our eternal position to be part and parcel of the Lord in this situation. And when we do books in the street, we really feel this feeling to be a part of the Lord in His movement. He is sending us so many people who are looking for this knowledge and are very enthusiastic to find a book. When we arrive first in the street, we think nobody will want any book in this demoniac society. But when we start, after we have many people actually who come. Maybe I will not say all my story before tomorrow, but one story that I can say about Sankirtan, it was, so in Chatlele Hall we was distributing books, and there is a very young man, he was very small. He came to me and said, "Oh, this is Bhagavad Gita." I was already very astonished to see a young man, like he was maybe 15 years old, and he was not so big, he was small, and he come to ask me and said me, "This is Bhagavad Gita." "Oh, I was looking for it," he said me. And he said, my grandfather was always speaking to me about Bhagavad Gita, and he was glorifying this book, Bhagavad Gita, and he passed away just a few weeks ago, and I'm looking for this book because I want to understand what he was speaking about. And he was very young, and he started to ask many questions about reincarnation, what is the origin of the suffering. He was still at the college, I don't know in English, college. First school?
High school.
Yeah, high school, okay. And he was asking questions, and another young man came after too, because he saw this young asking me question. Another young man come and start also to ask questions about meditation, and both of them took the book actually, and they was very happy to receive the book. So we are in a society where people are really in big suffering, so they realize that we need another way of life. And when we go in the street, we meet many like this, and of all class of men. Can be very poor people who come to us, who sometimes are very rich, who want to know what is Bhagavad Gita. So this is something that this verse is emphasizing, because in this world we cannot know the world because we cannot know the Lord without his representative. So Srila Prabhupada gave us the knowledge, but one of his desires is that also we go to give this knowledge. And Krishna say to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that this one who give this knowledge to other is very dear to him. So, and this is the goal of spiritual life, to become dear to Krishna. So by doing this service, we can feel our eternal position to be part and parcel of the Lord, and we can also give this great opportunity to be in contact with this knowledge. I don't know if this is the time we should stop the class, 8:45.
That's why I had to stop the kirtan.
Okay, I understand now.
Because I know you're going to need time to speak. But you were thinking it's not important.
Because I'm rascal, yeah.
Yeah, time is up. You can take questions, couple questions.
Okay, so we can do some question and comment about this verse and purport from Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Bruno.
Like to speak about the relation with the how you say the marathon in connection with the demon society, and we know that Krishna is come to kill the demon and save the pious.
Yeah.
But we know also that Chaitanya say in this age, Nityananda say we are not here to kill the demon and save the pious, because we are both in our body, there is the both. So we can say with the marathon, we put in enlightenment the part of goodness in people, and the demonial part is put aside, because this is the way we can fight with demons, is to share this knowledge with the good people in every people. You know what I mean?
Yes, we in this Kali Yoga we all have demon and Deva in ourselves. So it's true that by sharing knowledge we try to cultivate this divine nature that we all have in ourselves. And this is also what Srila Prabhupada made by his society ISKCON, is to create a group where people can develop this divine nature and mainly this is developing by association, and this is a reason for why we should go in the street, because people will not come in the middle of the berry. So we have to go in the middle of Paris to search them, because they are waiting for this, and when you give them knowledge, because they have this divine nature in themselves, it can revive. And this we can see many times when you distribute books. Sometimes we stop people, they are very aggressive with us, and we start to speak, and I don't know, the Paramatma is acting in their heart. They say, Paramatma say probably, listen this guy, just he has something to say. And at the end, he is not at all angry, he is very happy with us, and all his divine nature came out actually. Just this demoniac nature was because of his bad association in this society. And if you arrive and you give him some good association, he can just in few minutes revive his divine nature.
So you kill the demon and you save the tigers in the same person.
Exactly.
Wow. Thank you for what you do. Hare Krishna.
But if they're really demons, they won't listen.
Yeah. if they are really demons, better to not approach them.
The thing is, we don't know who is who.
Yeah, we never know.
But going to the city, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he would approach Jagai and Madai. And the idea Prabhupada said is not to kill them, but to kill the demoniac mentality. And you experience it when you, by distributing books and preaching. You say in the beginning the guy is hostile, but by the end he becomes soft, his divine nature come out. So this has to go on.
They all think they don't have time. The society gave this idea, we not have time. And if the Paramatma is sometimes he's always acting, but sometimes he's giving a very strong impression, and they realize that they have maybe 1 minute, and after they stay for 30 minutes. So they realize that they had time, they just didn't want to get time. But yeah, in this society, their mind is fully engaged, but is not engaged in spiritual atmosphere. It's engaged in material atmosphere, full of sinful activities. So they are crazy. And you can see them, many times they are lost in their activity. They just don't know. They just run like a machine. And you stop them, like you wake up someone, you look big eyes. Sometimes they are afraid. Sometimes, so many times it happened to me. I tried to stop them, and they was afraid to see me like this. But after it takes some time, and they realize that we try to give something nice. Yeah.
So Krishna appears age after age to kill the demon and save the pious, and this age he appears like a book. And
he appeared like Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, and Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda say, go to chant the holy name and distribute knowledge.
And this is the way he did. Very beautiful.
So this is the Krishna book. Actually, with Joe and Evan, we was meditating that Chatlele Ali, it's like Goloka Vrindavan. There is a garden somewhere. We was thinking it's like Govardhan Hill. Another place, it's like we kill the demon. So there was a place of Klinavarta and the ditch Putana. And we was meditating on this and thinking, yeah, this is Vrindavan. Yeah, we are here to kill the demon and save the devotee. But many people see Chatlelea like the hell. Like Guru Maharaj is calling this place, you go to the hell. But when you distribute books, it's become like, it's become like Goloka Vrindavan. You stay all day and you are absorbed in the service of Lord Chaitanya, and you enter in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna and Balaram.
The race to marathon.
To the Ramaton.
Tomorrow, there will be a...
Yeah, there is more story. I didn't want to say my story. I say only one. Oh, sorry.
Last time someone told me I don't have time, I replied, I also don't have time.
Yeah.
Because busy in devotional service, and we're busy trying to convert many people to Krishna. But out of compassion, we try sincerely to approach everyone. So, we could say the same thing. Yes, we don't have time. We're so engaged in devotion.
Yeah.
One life to understand Krishna also is short.
Yeah, I tried sometimes to do like this, but usually it's increasing their rush. It's my experience, because they think, oh, I don't have time, he don't have time, so I should learn more.
You could say, I have time, I can give you some.
Actually, one day, I was a little bit frustrated because everyone was saying to me, I don't have time, and I pray, please, Krishna, send me someone who have time just to speak. And someone arrived. I stopped her, and she said, "Oh, I have all my time to speak." And she took many books. Actually, she was not French; she was American. And yeah, I was astonished how the prayer can have an effect in this service. You pray in something, because we have our nature. We can have a nature to be always a little bit in the rush, and if we have this nature, Krishna will send us many people who are in the rush. That you see that you are in the rush when you try to speak with people. So if you stay very conscious and you try to sometimes analyze, not too much mental, but just analyze a little bit, you can do some prayer like this, and Krishna will send exactly what you need for preaching. This happened for me many times during the marathon. Yeah. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Oops.